Running, take one.
Shit, first and foremost, it's all about the pros and cons of us coming from North California.
100%.
You know, there's good and there's bad from it.
Right.
You know,
I mean, that's life, right? That's life, you know. When you go into life, I mean, especially for me, I've been in the game for the longest time, but I've always represented who I am. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, we want everybody to grow, but ultimately when it comes down to that, like you said, there's always a pros and cons to everything in life. You know, that's why we call it duality. You know what I'm saying? There's always that duality, the energy of life, where the sun comes up, the moon comes down. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So in life, negativity is part of what makes us better.
Yep.
You know, I mean, for me, looking back into it, my very first loss, right? That hurt. Very first loss, because I was winning nationals.
Yeah.
I was winning everything, right? And I was a kid that should have won the Olympics or that should have won the Olympic trials, right? And then, you know, everybody was on me and stuff like that. Just like you. You know, I met you when you were 16. You know what I'm saying?
Baby.
You know, so ultimately when it comes down to that, you know, I had this high standard of myself.
Yeah.
Because that's what I was.
It's like we gotta let everybody know how it felt to be us at one point. Going to nationals and winning, then you go again and you won, and go again and you won. Yeah. Now, when you go, everybody expects you to win.
Right.
So now it's like when you're fighting, everybody surrounds the ring to see you win and see your performance or the big time show. It's exciting. Yeah. And then going to the pros and getting your first loss is like, damn, because you're so used to winning, like it almost becomes a personality of who you are.
Right.
A winner.
Right.
So when that shit, it hurts when you get that first loss.
Man, I'm telling you, because like for me, I got mine early, right? So I was this kid that everybody had high hopes. You know, they were like, man, you're gonna be something. You're gonna be something all my life. You're gonna be something. You're gonna be something, right? And then all of a sudden, I lose my second fight. To me, it broke me, man. It broke me. I'm like, man, I'm done with boxing. You know, I was like, what? I shouldn't have lost. You know, I'm like, God, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? But you know, again, you know, it was part of life, and along that way, I did learn how to be stronger. I did learn a lot of the pressure was taken off of me. Of becoming undefeated and stuff like that, right? For me, it was just like, let's go for it. I ain't got nothing to lose no more. You know what I mean? So for me, that brought me my mentality. I worked really hard to everything, but at the same time, you know, I didn't have that pressure of being undefeated. Yeah. You know, I didn't have that pressure of being the kid that should win every single time. You know what I mean? So for me, my mentality started getting built up that, you know what? I'm a force to be reckoned when I want to become that person, and because I got nothing behind me, I'm not carrying this weight no more. You know what I'm saying? So, but it did hurt me, and I quit for a little bit. You know, I quit for a little bit. I went to work. I went to work to a pet store and stuff like that, and I came back and I was like, man, I ain't like working. And I said, you know what? I don't like being told what to do. I'm gonna go back to boxing. I'm gonna give it at least a year or two. And then, you know what? Because I focus, I got there. Become world champion. You know what I mean?
Step by step.
But it hurts. Don't get me wrong. You know what I mean?
But I just feel like people gotta learn. Growing through the pains, it's only gonna make you better. You know, so that's what I think I like to preach and talk about is striving. You know, it's a life. Like they always say, you know, life's a bee. You know, but it is what it is. You get dealt a certain hand of cards. You just gotta play them the best you can.
Right.
You know, some things gonna happen just because that's what it was written already, but it's what you're gonna do about it, higher to bounce back.
Yeah.
But all goes from even back then when I was young, I was going to gyms and sparring people that your dad trained.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Sparring people your dad trained. So that was a great way for me to like spar people and be like, damn, okay, that's Nonito's dad right there. You know, that's growing up. That's how we thought.
Right.
You know, because like I'm the younger generation,
right.
way before you. You know, so it's just like a blessing when
That's crazy because I was the same way. I was 17 years old and I sparred Pacquiao, Casamayor, all these guys, man. I mean, for me, it was just like, but see, the thing with me was I didn't give nobody respect inside that
Yeah.
ring. Outside, I was this beast. Like outside, I was this nice guy. Actually, I was this nice guy, very respectful. But inside, I was like this beast.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I'm like, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're older than me. I'm gonna beat your ass up. I'm gonna whoop your butt. That's it. You know, for me, it was just that mentality for me. You know, and that's why even now, that's why I always tell kids, I'm like, man, give your respect. But when you're in there, you know, you're the king.
For sure. When I was sparring world champions for the first time, like you said, when you sparring all those guys, like, well, the way I took it as, like, I'm from show me state. Like, you got to show me. Like, I heard all this, but let's see what it is. Like, you know, I'm going to that fire and we're going to see what all the talk is about. So I think that was the best thing, you know, like I say, the pros and cons coming from North California. Like, you know, you're walking with that chip on your shoulder. Like, okay, let's see. Like, you know, sometimes that's going to be the best thing for you when you're not timid, because it's like they can smell that fear. Like if you feel timid or you feel a little shy, like the veterans, they could feel that.
Oh, that
you know,
we've seen it. We've been there.
Yeah.
You know, when it comes to it, you're looking at them and I'm like, okay, this is my food. You know what I'm saying?
Coming from even being in the amateurs, I remember being like, I don't know, 10-time national champion at the time. You know, and seeing like, oh, he's a new kid. He's in my bracket. Oh, he's done. Like, you can smell the fear. You could see him looking around, looking. Oh, dang, there's 4-3 rings here. That's 6-3. Like, you can see their excitement. They look lost in their eyes. You can feel it. Like, oh, okay, I got him. Like, that's you could never show that. You know that.
Never.
I think that's the thing with boxing. Like, you know, a lot of fighters or like not fighters, but a lot of other athletes, like they basketball, you know, football, maybe other sports. Like they're trying to get the foul, trying to get the penalty. You know, maybe they play into being hurt. But us, we got to do the opposite. We can't play into. We got to do the opposite to make sure we stay in. You know, that's not giving us an edge. But sometimes in other sports, it gives them the edge to play hurt because they get the flag or penalty or whatever, and it gives them that little extra edge.
I mean, they be doing soccer stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
but they make it ends. You know what I'm saying? Ronaldo out there, they making big money. But there's a craft to everything. That's what that shows you. Yeah. You know, there's a craft to everything.
But like you said, man, you know, the thing about it is the body movements, the body language, all of that. We know, we can see it, we can feel it. You know, we're all energy. That it comes to a point where when you start to really realize yourself, you know if they're scared. You know when you got them.
So I know we went over that time in the press conference where I announced that I was the youngest ever to be signed by Top Rank. That was your press conference where you're fighting Jesse Magdaleno.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, you're the first one to show me respect, show me love, you know, and that was greatly appreciated because everybody looked at me like a kid, which I was. 16, I was a kid. But you're the one that, you know, that give me
I've been there though.
And all that.
I've been there though.
But what was, this is my question, what was the cheer about? Do you remember the press conference where you had a chant or something? Your team, you guys all said something.
Yeah. So it was just more like the haka thing, you know. You know, I'm like, come on, let's go. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't remember anything else, but it was just more of like inspiring myself because at that time I was just kind of finding my way again because I needed to be inspired. Okay. You know, see the thing is, you come up and then you win and you get to the point and you become world champion. You become world champion for like 7-8 years, and then I guess in life you get complacent, right? Where everything else just doesn't matter anymore, you know? Instead of working to train to fight or win, you're working to lose the weight, you know? And that was the biggest thing for me was I took it for granted. And that's something that, you know, I always tell the kids and everybody else, really, all adults or anybody, don't ever take life for granted, you know? And that's why I try to do a lot of things to maximize my inspiration in my head, you know, the motivation in my head. But now I just realized that, you know what, it all comes down to me. What I want and being around people, like say for instance, being around you and your pops and all that stuff, I'm like, oh man, I used to fight like this. Now I'm starting to fight like that. That's the thing is I never surround myself with nobody because I was a loner when it comes down to all of that, right? I didn't like people.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I love the fence and all that stuff, but when it comes down to my own thing, I keep it to myself.
See, that's one thing where you told me and I was like, damn, real similar with that. Like, Pops always trying to fight the next person, like, oh, we should all go run. Or the coach tell my Pops, and my Pops agreed to it. We'll get in the car, I'm like, damn, why you agree to that? I ain't trying to run. I barely know a boy. Like, know that, not that I didn't like her or nothing, but I'm in my zone when I'm in the gym. Yeah. I'm thinking about my career. Like, when I'm running, when I'm training, whatever, I'm thinking about the future sometimes. And, like, I don't want to get asked a question. I don't want to talk You know, I'm
Right.
in my deep thoughts. I'm in
Right.
my ambitious mode right now. Like,
Yeah.
So that's why I didn't really like that. All that group trainings and
Yeah.
I like
Right.
being by myself, isolated.
Me too, man.
Hell
You know, that was me because of the fact that I didn't really have nobody. You know what I'm saying? So it was always me and my brother, but my brother kind of fell off, you know, and then it came to a point where I just train a lot for myself. You know, because like sometimes when I get people and they don't work hard enough, you know, and I'm like, man, get the heck out. You know what I'm saying?
It's like a Mexican and Filipino thing. Like the cultures
Right.
are very alike.
100%.
It's like a macho.
We are Mexican playing and we're trying to be Asian or something like that.
But it's just like you don't look for the next man. You don't call the next man.
Nah.
You don't want no help. You could do it yourself type
Right.
thing. Like, you know, you got that pride. You don't want to ask anybody for help, or you don't want to, I need somebody to come with me. You just always try to do something and take the
We
burden
know
on
how to do
yourself.
it. We know how to win.
And it always felt great though, like, you know, always doing something by yourself. Again, the credit is this was me right here. This is what I did. You
Yeah.
know, I didn't bring nobody. I didn't need help. I never called on
Exactly.
anybody. You know, it's like going as far as that. It was just that's what's always been in me.
Yeah.
Same thing. Like, nah, I could go to the gym myself. I don't need nobody to tell me to go run. I gotta go run. Wake up in
Right.
the morning or night or whatever
Exactly. I'm the same way. You know, when it comes down to it, I don't rely on nobody. I go out there, I run, I do my things. I don't worry about nobody else. You know, I worry about me. You know what I'm saying? But now I started to realize that when you do create a good group, like-minded group, who works hard, who wants to get better, you know, guess what? It helps. That energy put together helps a lot. That's why for me, I feel like I'm renewed just working with you, working with everybody else, or working with your pop and you know, I'm like, oh man, I remember this stuff. You know, now it's fun again,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I've always loved fighting, but I always kind of try to put my mind to like, man, I gotta do this. I try to always motivate myself, right? But now being around you guys, I'm like, it's fun, and I'm motivated. You know what? Okay, I like to just bang it all out and just whoop, you know, just throw power shots and stuff like that. But now I'm like, you know what? Let me go back to how I was, you know, and it's fun for me now because I'm looking into it. I'm like, oh yeah, this is cool. This is cool. I'm not getting it yet, but I'll get there. You know what I mean?
So where was your debut, Coach?
LA. It was a Hollywood Park Casino. You know, that was in 2001 February, and I knocked this dude out in I think in like 20 seconds. You know, I think that's why I fell in love with my power too. When I
Right there, 20
boom!
seconds.
I'm like, oh! I didn't even know because I've never stopped nobody in the amateurs and stuff like that. You know, I always hurt them, but I never knocked nobody out, right? But in the pros, with for some reason, man, the first boom, I was like, oh! And ever since then, I started dropping everybody. I dropped everybody, you know, but I don't want to rely on that.
Yeah.
I never relied on that until I got complacent. You know what I mean? So yeah, but yeah, the first loss really hurt for me, you know. But the thing about it is, what I believe is, all the step back, the setback, and all this negativity that we call negativity, at least, is actually a push. If you learn to take the problem and solve what was needed for you to learn, that's how you become better. You know, I learned because I was because I lost, or because there was a setback, right? Or something happened. But in all of my life, I've always learned better when I had a setback, when I had my whole world was falling apart, you know, and stuff like that. You know, I came to this point that, you know, I relied on me, you know, and that's why, like we mentioned earlier, that's why we don't like training with other people, because we rely on ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Because we did it already.
Yeah.
We know how to do it, you know. But now I find that being together with people that is the same is so much easier working out now, because I'm gonna push you, you push me. That's it. You know, we help each other in that way. You know, and at the same time, hey, like when you're training, I'm like, okay, do this, do that. And then even when you saw me sparring, I'm like, hey, do varieties, or you know, make it different. You know, you gotta make it different. You know what I'm saying? So I listen to that, because now I'm like, okay, I need to get better. Now I'm in learning phase.
So what made you though, Coach? Like, where you get your characteristics from? Like, we go bowling, we go have fun, you're right there chanting, dancing, like you're energetic like me. So Like, you know me, I'm kind of calm, quiet, observe, I watch, but you know, you make the party a party.
You know what's crazy?
Where'd that come from?
You know what's crazy? I was a very shy kid growing up. Very shy. Didn't talk much, didn't ask questions, and when I was around people, I just didn't say nothing. You know?
Yeah.
You know, and all of a sudden my life was falling apart in pieces. You know, me and my wife had issues, and we're almost getting divorced. And I told myself, like, what is wrong with me, right? And I told him, like, hey, yo, give me another chance to see what happens, right? Let me figure myself out. And then after a year or two, I went to all kinds of motivational seminars and all this stuff. Read so many books about how to like myself, right? So for me, I guess I was always quiet because I didn't like myself. You know, because I was always told I'm no good growing up. And this is why I fought hard, and I always fight hard. You see me, I fall, I get up right away. I fall, I get up. I fall, I get up. You know, I never stop. But because I was always told that I was gonna be nothing, you know what I mean? And so I was always quiet growing up. And then all of a sudden I went this because I wanted to save my marriage. I wanted to save what I have. It was incredible. I was on top of the world at that time. You know, I was fighter of the year and all that. And it came to my point that, you know what? I care so much about what people say. I care so much about how people look at me. And now, and after, it took me a long time to get where I'm at, you know? And then I was like, man, forget that. You know what? I'm just gonna be doing whatever I want. I'm gonna have fun. Guess what? If they tell me I'm a fool, all these guys tell me I'm a fool, guess what? Tomorrow, no one's saying that anymore because they don't know who I am. You know, it's all gone. So for me, I can be a fool right now, but I'm having a good time. You know, and that's why I'm like, I'm out. I'm all out. You know, I'm happy. I'm dancing and all that stuff. See, I want that because of the fact that I took life for granted for what I have. I became so complacent. So now every time I'm in a situation, I go all out. I'm happy. I'm having a great time. Just don't get me in a bad mode though, because I am on the other side too. Yeah, we don't want to go there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
everybody only knows the side you show them. You know
right.
Yeah.
So you know, but that's what happened with me was, you know what, I realized that, you know what, I gotta learn to just appreciate myself. The thing is, we don't appreciate ourselves enough. We don't even say, you know what, you did a good job today, or you know what, man, I feel great. Thank you. I'm thankful for my body. See, now I'm going back into gratitude. I'm going back into everything else, being grateful as compared to being critical. So that's the difference between people and how people are happy, is because they are criticizing themselves as compared to being grateful for themselves. Right? So for instance, there's a setback. They criticize themselves. For me, I'm like, you know what? This is a learning lesson. This is why I got here. I lost because I didn't do enough. Then I go and try to better myself. You know, what was missing? Why did I lose? What was going on? So I dissect that, not to criticize it, but to appreciate it, that I am given this knowledge to be better.
I had one more.
Yeah, one more. You can have all you want, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I never got it done. Mine went blank.
So,
okay, hold on. So who was your man's growing up? Who's the one you looked up to fighting and it was like on TV? Like, because you started boxing at what age?
11.
11. Okay, so who was your favorite boxer at the time?
So growing up, my dad put me to fight like Sugar Ray Leonard.
Okay.
Right. So that was my style growing up. Just walk or just moving around a lot of combination. And then as I got older, I didn't know how to throw a left hook. Right, so that was, no matter what I did, I just didn't know how to throw a left hook. It was just 1-2 jab, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, right, and uppercuts, bop, 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 bop. But I didn't know how to throw a left hook. It took me years, maybe 7-8 years before I started throwing left hooks, right? And I studied Trinidad, I studied Arguello. My hooks came from them, Arguello, Trinidad, and Mike Tyson, right? But the dude that I always was my favorite was Roy Jones. Roy Jones was just like, man, bah, 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 bah. You know what I'm saying? For me, it was just like, hey, you know, that was my favorite fighter of all time. You know, growing up.
So me, in my eyes, the same. That was like, to me, that was the GOAT fucking Roy was the man growing up. Like,
Man, I'm
I
telling
remember
you.
chilling, Pop, like, just watch this fight. Yeah, we watched this fight. I was a little ass kid, you know. Before I started boxing and all that, I watched the fight. I'll take off when we finish the fight. But when Roy fought, we finished the fight. You know, when Roy was right there on TV, I was right there the whole time. Like, damn.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you know, I watched the whole
skillful.
12 rounds. You know, and I just loved how he was in there. He just looked comfortable. Whatever he was doing, no matter what it was, no matter if the guy was having his way at that very moment, he looked comfortable still. Like, all right, he wasn't shook. You know, and that's what I liked the most. I was like, oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
You know, and I went to his press conference.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and we had his rooster. We had Roy's rooster on my trunks, and he was tripping. Roy was all like, he looked at it hella hard, like, hey, like, yeah. Cool, and you see my pops and my brother right there, because at the time my brother was a national champion. Right. My brother Raj, he was the man right there, you know, ranked number 1 in the nation. So he was
Raj.
Yeah, my brother.
Wait, come on.
The white short, no neck, but
what's up, Raj? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, bro, he had hands, you know.
Rogelio. Rogelio, for real?
Yeah.
I'm a mess with him now. I'm a mess with him.
But
Like,
he started to beat up the tacos and shit. You know?
I think he had too much of it.
I tell you what, boy, I'd always pick on him because, you know, he posts some shit from when he was 20 or in high school. I was like, you're not that man's no more. He's like, slim.
No, I know, dude. I'm just
But
saying.
now, my man, you try to get back to it.
I will mess with him. I will mess with him.
Bought him some running shoes. You know, he got a punt ran for 2 days, and that was it. You know, but, you know, my man, he loves to be in the gym, though. He goes to the boxing gym and all that with me. He loves to run with
tacos?
Me. Yeah. Now we run to the taco truck. He's down the street, right?
Yeah.
We can make
Go
it.
run and get
we
tacos.
can make it on feet. But, yeah, man, that was a memory for sure, going to see Roy. I was like, man, a little kid in Disneyland when I went to see Roy. It was dope. You know, something I always remember.
Dang.
You know, because I looked up to him and showing them my trunks. Oh, look at Roy's my trunks.
Yeah.
You know, Roy was hella dope. And then going to a fight on this card in Texas, you know, that was like my first time being able to talk to Roy type thing. Like, cool. I was a baby. Like, I was like 6 right there when I met Roy in Sacramento. So it was like, I didn't say much, but it was more like, you know, as a kid, I don't have too much memory, but I remember some things. But when I was like a man, like, you know, well, I was 17, I wasn't even a man yet. Yeah. But I was in the pro game. I met Roy and got to shake his hand, you know, and really talk to him.
That's cool,
like,
right?
You know, I'm glad to be right here on your card, Roy. Yeah. You know, it's an honor, it's a privilege. And, you know, he was hella cool, you know, but that was like, damn, that's the man right there. You know, it's like I met Mark Wahlberg. It's like seeing on a movie team, and it's like when you see movie stars or something like that walk in front of you, it's like, I don't know, they look different, like they look brighter because you seen them on TV and all that. Right. But that was my moment type thing when I seen Roy. I was like, okay, that's the man's right there. That was dope.
Dang, that's crazy.
Hell yeah.
That's crazy. So, well, so for me, I gotta ask, how, you know, because like in all trials and tribulation and stuff like that, the mentality change. How has that experience for you made you change the way you mind, the way you think? You know what I mean?
It just made me pinpoint things more. You know, I can't really say it changed me because, shit, I came from trauma. So when it come from losses, like losing my fight, like I remember when I was fighting Abraham Montoya. You know, the opponent that beat the guy that beat me first. He beat the guy that I lost to. Yeah. You know, and I went to fight him. Just to show, you know, the chip on the shoulder, like, that wasn't me, man. Look at it, man. I could do it. I could beat him. Like, that made me feel up. Like, man, like, cause that you feel that.
100%.
And you want to get that away. Like, come on, let's run it back. Let's do it.
That's good.
So the way of me doing that was fighting the guy that beat him. Yeah. And so we're in the fighter meeting, and they're like, how does that loss affect you? Like, did it bring you down or this and that? Like, they're talking like I'm fragile now. Yeah. And so like I just laughed. I didn't mean to laugh, but I did. Kind of chuckled a little bit. I was like, you know, I respect your guys' opinion and your guys' thoughts and your guys' worries, but this just only shows me, like, you know, you guys didn't grow up with me. You guys barely met me when I turned pro. Right. You know, I've been come from losses, so a loss like that, it's not, can't compare to losing a family member, you know, less to say my mom's. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I learned how to fight through that and live and go to school still and talk and eat and see other people and put a mask on my face. Now I gotta act normal, you know. I don't want to see nobody see me down. So I had to learn as a little kid before I was a teenager how to do that, you know, and still do everything, go to tournaments and all that. So as a grown man, losing a fight, that was nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
it hurt, yeah, but that shit,
Yeah.
it can't compare to what I've been through already.
Exactly.
So
See.
I'm gonna run through this and I'm gonna pinpoint, all right, Rush, I'm gonna show you, yeah, but it's good. Make
Yeah.
those tweets or whatever. You guys have your own opinion.
Yeah.
I don't expect you guys not to have opinion. You know, you guys are reporters all day. Okay, cool. You guys gotta say what you gotta say. I'm not mad at you.
Right.
But my job is to show you what I'm about, show you like what I'm on now.
See,
you
the
know?
blessing of it all is that you had a hard life,
Mm-hmm.
that everything else can be compared to it. And see, and it creates that warrior mentality, but not just the warrior mentality, because a lot of people can be a warrior mentality. It creates that winner's mentality.
Yeah.
You know, that's life can be hard sometimes, but how you took it and stuff like that, I mean, it creates a lot of winning mentality for you. You know what I mean?
But that's how we go back to what you were saying, Coach. Like, you got to be grateful. You know, you got to find little things that people take for granted. Like me, the way I dealt with my mom passing, it was like, I said I got 12 years, you know, with my mom's. I had memories, pictures, lessons that I carry on to this day, and I always will for the rest of my life. Things that she taught me, characteristics that are in me forever now. You know, and there's kids out there, probably they were 5 when their parent passed.
Right.
You know, unfortunate for them. They don't have as many memories. Maybe people don't even have pictures with their parents or whatever when they passed. And that sucks to say. So I say I'm grateful I had 12 years. You know, because coming where I come from, I talk to kids all the time that lost a parent, lost a family member. You know, coming to Stockton out there, the murder rate's real high. So, you know, I hear all the time. So they ask me, that's a question I get asked a lot in my hometown. So that's what I was like, the only way I could say is like, me, I believe in God. I'm not pushing down nobody, but the way I dealt with it, I prayed a lot. I went to church a lot and surrounded myself and family and had to learn how to be grateful for 12 years when I knew that there's people out there that got way less. You know, so I had to cherish those 12 years and be grateful for it. You know, that's just a part of you know, grabbing a positivity at something huge and negative, that little piece of positivity, you know, just making it positive one way or another. So just from my loss, you know, I learned how to do that. Like, I know I could do anything and take anything, you know, but that's not something I wanted to find out or something, you know, I wanted to go through. But I always knew I could. I always knew that I was ready for anything, but I showed it now. You know, it's like, I remember, man, I stopped in that fight. It wasn't a question for me. I thought I was going to knock the guy out the last round, even though I was losing all the last 9, you know, but that's the winner's mentality. It's like you said, I didn't think I was going to lose for a second.
Yeah.
There was 10 seconds left of the last round.
Yeah.
I still thought, okay, watch this punch that's about to come.
Right.
I always believed I was going to win, you know, but, you know, we continue on, we learn.
Right.
Live and learn.
And again, you know, you just go into that experience and just dissect it, you know, because sometimes it's the hardest part. Like, say for instance, for every man, right, it's hard to look yourself in the mirror, right, and see all the BS, all the stuff that you've done, and you may not like yourself at that moment, right? And that's the same thing as, you know, a lot of people don't like hearing themselves, a lot of people don't like looking at themselves and all of that stuff, but it's the same thing as losing. You know, it's hard to watch that fight, right? For me, it's hard to watch that fight, but I'm like, you know what? I try to replay it in my head, and I say, you know what? I did this. I got there because I didn't do this, or I didn't learn to do this. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I've learned that the past is the past. You know, unless something dear to you, you hold on to it, right? But everything else can be shaken off, right? And allow yourself to grow in that way. You know, like where you come from, man, a lot of people don't have that. And this is why you're strong, is because of how you grew up. That's your personality, you know, and maybe that's part of you why, you know, you're like this. You're very enclosed with things. You know what I mean? Because I was the same way. You know, I when I was younger, I mean, man, I was maybe I was 10 years old or something like that. I just got in the United States, and I grew up. Everybody was calling me the ugly duckling. I was gonna be nothing, blah blah blah, and I get bullied going to school and stuff like that. Every time I would come home just crying, right? Because my dad always told us don't get into a fight, because he didn't want to deal with that, you know. So I never got into a fight, and I always got my ass kicked, right? And it came to a point where my dad and my mom was having an argument that, man, these kids, you know, we feed them, blah blah blah, this and that, and they were fighting, you know, that they didn't have no money and stuff like that, right? And so for me, I took it. I'm like, man, I'm an extra in this household, you know, and I just decided that I'm gonna wrap a towel or a shirt on my neck and tie it on my because we had a bunk bed, tie it on that bunk bed on the bottom of it, and I was on my knees, and I just tried to go, because I was scared. I tried to go forward, and until like I was like, oh man, it started to feel like I feel numbness all over my body, right? I tried to kill myself, right? So I'm like, I went like that, and all of a sudden, like I just lost consciousness. You know, I was blessed that it unraveled because I couldn't tie it tight enough, right? And then when I hit the bed, my face first, I was gasping for air. I'm like, I was dead, you know, and everything was just like static all around. It was white, you know, everything was just bright, you know. But that made me think that, you know, what happened to me and how I went through that, and I said, you know what, maybe I'm meant for something else, you know, and you know, your situation is different because you have no control over it, you know what I mean? Like for you, it was something that happened that was really traumatizing. For me, I did it because I just was traumatized throughout, right, with everybody around me, that nobody appreciated me, you know. And this is why I think growing up, I just didn't like myself, because everybody around me didn't like myself. You know, didn't like me. You know what I'm saying? But I work hard. Because it was just like, man, you know what? I'm gonna prove it to everybody else. You know, I'm gonna prove it to everybody else. So that was my I guess my booster to get me up, because no one believed in me. But I was in my head, I was like, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you. You know, that was my thing in my head. You know, and then I got to the top. When I got to the top, world champion, about 7-8 years, I was just like, I already did what I wanted to do, to prove to everybody else that I'm great. You know what I mean? And so I think that's when I got complacent. And that's when I didn't care too much about anything else, and I started slugging, and didn't matter to me, you know what I mean? But that's why I'm saying, with my experience, you know, be just grateful, and I see that you do have gratitude, and you're in good shape, brother. You're in good shape, man. Just that gratitude in itself be the first thing to do. You know, it may be with God and in yourself and all of that stuff, but that gratitude is such a potent, a strong energy to carry in life, because whatever life gives you, you're going to be granted whatever you want because of the fact that you're grateful for it. You know what I'm saying?
See, me, like, I try to be grateful as much as I can, because I mean, I don't try to get too religious or anything, but this is just my beliefs. For me, you know, it was just always put everything I got, work, and put the trust in God's hands, you know, play out how it's supposed to, as long as I do my part on my end, you know. And it was hard to see that, you know what I'm saying, coming up, I'm busting ass, I'm doing great, sparring, everything's going well, but boom, look at, I'm 21-2, I'm like, it's driving me nuts. I never seen me losing one time in my head playing out, just because of everything I did, my team that got behind me, got the best people in boxing behind me. I feel like I'm the best that could ever be. You know, and then, but it unraveled, it's making a story now, to be, you know, got to be a world champion and see how this all comes out, and more, you know. But even today, where I'm at, so look at, I got my own promotional company with my father. It's just so beautiful. I'm just, you know, I pray all the time. Look at, that's what I'm saying. Without all that happening, we wouldn't be right here with our own promotional company and doing things our way. You know, the way we wanted to it, you know, unwrapping papers a different way, you know. spelling a word different, how we want to do it. Everything's with our fingerprints. We're touching everything. That got to do with me now. So, yeah, that's a huge blessing coming.
Yes, it is a blessing, man. You guys are the shot callers now.
Because people try to retire me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Try to retire me without my okay, without my say-so.
Same with me. I'm old now. They said I'm old. Trust me. You know what I'm saying?
I only got nothing coming, you know, because I know what I see. I know what it is. So, like, that's all it was. But you went from retiring me now. Look at me.
Right.
You know, I'm in arenas, you know, with my own promotional company, with my pop right behind me.
Right.
We're doing this. You know, same team. We ain't switch up. This is who, if anything changes, the ones that left. You know, we are who we are. So I feel like I'm really grateful for. You know, that's why I always put it in God's hands. I just got to do my part.
Right.
Can't just put it in God's hands and sit
of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got to put it in God's hand when you do your thing.
You're walking around like Roger.
My little brother right there, man. You ain't talking about.
Yeah,
I'm big little brother.
Yeah, no, I love Roger, man. He's cool. Roger's good. I just mess with him. Like you said, now I mess with him
because you never knew.
Yeah,
because of 3 by shot, you never knew that.
Nope. Yeah, so not just see that Roger put it in God's hand, but he just put it in God's hand.
There's a taco fell in
taco in God's hand. But he had taco in his hand.
I'm gonna tell you, man. See me, I'm a boxer. You know, I want to hit you hard, but I'm a boxer.
Right.
Raj got in there, he went forward, got dirty, boom, but he was technical at it at the same time.
He was a straight out Mexican.
Aggressive, yeah. he went all the way with the Mexican style. Yeah. You know, so that was how he did it, you know.
Wow.
And you know, he inspired me. He came on with a national championship.
Right, wow.
I was 6 years old. He comes home like, damn.
Wow.
I seen the big old belt spinning.
Right.
I'm like, he's a man right now. I'm like, I thought that was hella dope. I'm like, I'm gonna start boxing.
That's cool.
And so I started when I was 7 though. I told Pop, I'm starting when I'm 7. He was like, all right. But he was so thrown off because I picked the age and like, I didn't say, I want to start boxing, I was like, nah, I'm gonna start
at 7. You just knew.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm sorry.
That's cool. That's
you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna finish my little T-ball, whatever I got going on in the moment.
That's cool. That's dope.
And years later, me winning my first national championship, I see the guy my brother beat for his national championship 4 years later.
Wow.
You know? So that was crazy. Because my pops was like, that's old boy right there. That Raj being in the Nationals. I'm like, I was like, no, it's not. He's like, And me, I was a knucklehead growing up.
Right.
We're going to see right now. I walked up to him. My brother, you remember Red Gutierrez? I was like, yeah. I was like, he beat you in the finals, huh? Like, I'm talking shit.
Right.
They didn't like that shit, but I was a young knucklehead.
That's funny, man.
Growing up, I was a wild card. I was a little different, you know.
That's cool.
Going in, before getting in the ring, looking at my opponent, walking by him, like smelling his feet. I was like, he's done. I started laughing, like winking at him, like I played into all that because I thrived for it. When I was a younger hothead, you know, being bad, man, and going in there dancing, showing off, call my name. I was in a little dance.
Yeah, that's cool.
So but back then, it was different. It was a great time. Blast from the past, we say.
Yeah, man. Roger.
now he right there with his baby. He got his baby. You know what I'm saying? Another one on the way. Mm-hmm. You know, so he's a family man now.
That's cool, man. But see, that's the beauty of life, man.
Yeah.
You know, we chose this game. Yeah. We're warriors. We're winners, and we don't give up until we get to where we want to be.
Yeah, 100%. So let's say one fun question: after your big win, what was one of the first big purchases that you got? That you were juiced for, that you wanted?
My very first title in 2007, I bought an NSX.
Oof.
Yeah, it was a nice car, man. I said, I was with Rachel already. I was like, I want this car. Okay, cool.
Did you go Bay Area style? You swung it and all that?
No, but watch. I'm like, I got this. Right? So I got cash, right? I gave it to him cash, right? I'm like, boom, here you go, cash. And then I got in the driver's seat. Rach was right there, and I'm looking around. And I'm like, what is this thing? Where's the drive? It was a stick, right? I didn't know how to drive a damn stick. So I'm like, And I'm like, I don't know what to do.
He in there counting the money already. The money already in the bank.
Right. So Rach came in around. She drove it. She taught me how to do it. She taught me how to do it. But she loves that kind of stuff. But it was funny because I was so excited. I was ready to drive this thing, and I'm like,
teamwork made the dream work.
I was like, what I do? You know what I'm saying? So that was funny. That was funny. It's just one of those things. But that was my biggest purchase.
Yeah.
My first fight, and then of course after that,
I say that's dope though, because man, growing up, my mom, she loved Acuras.
Oh yeah.
So that was my vision, man. My mom, I remember she always used to look at the TLs.
Yeah.
First came out.
Right.
That's when it was about to hit the market. Nobody had a TL yet. They about to release them. I remember she would look at them like, dang. She was like, I want to go test drive one.
Oh yeah.
And all that, So man, I had an Acura.
Yeah.
So when I bought my Acura, my first car off the lot, I got an Acura A-Spec.
Okay.
Red guts. I thought it was the man had slapping it, 2 12s, 2 amps. And when the truck rattling, about to open, slapping so hard. You heard me done the block. You knew when I was coming. So, first thing I did when I bought it, I put it to my mom's, gravesite, like, feel it, because I know she loved Acuras. And for me to get an Acura that I loved, that I thought was dope, badass, that I tricked out, put rims on, put beat in, and felt proud about, it just hit me and slapped me like with a flashback. My mom's like, how much she loved. So I was like, damn, so that's the first thing I did when I put up to a great site. Sit, chat with her. It's like I said, I be going by myself. I go with my family sometimes, but I like to pop in by myself sometimes, share my little moments with my mom.
Exactly.
For sure. So I was like, that's crazy. Like, your first thing was and it said my first one off the lot was Acura TLX A-Spec. I thought it was a man.
That's cool.
Man, yep. So first thing I need to pull up my. That was good.
I just didn't know how to drive a stick. That's all. And Rach had to teach me how to do it. Because I didn't know. I didn't really care too much about cars. All it was I couldn't afford it, right?
Yeah.
So when I I didn't drive then, and then I started learning how to drive, and then I was like, I want that car, but I didn't know how to drive a stick. So that was funny though. We had that on video too. That was hilarious.
Okay.
Oh my God, when she was teaching me how to drive, it was like,
let me show you real fast. She had her hand on your leg, right?
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, dude, it was hilarious. It was funny. It was funny.
That's dope. So
but life is beautiful, bro.
So when was your first big arena in Vegas? Where was it at?
It was Mandalay Bay.
Mandalay
Bay. It was Fernando Montiel. That fight.
I seen that
for
one.
the WBC and WBO, I think. And I was really nervous. I don't really get usually nervous on fights, but I was nervous for that fight because Montiel was beating everybody at that time. And I feel like, man, I gotta trap this dude. So I used a lot of my speed, and even before this was the only time that I said to bet on a round with my guys. I said, and I was doing the mitts and stuff like that, warming up. But even before that, I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna figure him up in the first round, and in the second round I'm gonna trap him, and he's gonna get caught and he's gonna get knocked out. And I told my guys, bet on second round. And he was like, holy smokes, it was crazy. Yeah, dude, a lot of my homies won a lot of money on that night. 15, 20 grand, 30 grand, because they bet under 6, under 12, knocked out in the second round. Yeah, all that stuff. They banked on that one. But I was nervous in that fight because I know Montiel was great. It's just that I wanted to set things up for him where he doesn't, because he's tough, where he doesn't see it, right? So that's why I had to take the chance, get hit, but I got him with the big hook, because I feel that if I play it safe, he'll beat me. You know what I mean? Yep. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna trap him, and then it just went that way. You gotta take risks sometimes. And sometimes it may not work. And sometimes it may not work, and sometimes it may work. With Montiel it worked. With Inoue, the second fight, it didn't work. You know what I'm saying? Because I went and then I got caught. I'm the one that got caught instead of me setting the trap, right? With Montiel, I set that trap.
Hell yeah.
And if he had done some different move, it would have been a different story. But because he threw that straight, but I was expecting that straight though, because I put myself there, and I got him with that hook. But again, you got to take that risk sometimes to get a good reward.
Yeah.
You know, especially on a high caliber fight.
Chances make champions.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what life is. In order for life to be successful, anyone to be successful, you have to take risks. You got to learn how to jump. You got to learn to ask questions. You got to learn all this stuff that you don't know to be better. You know, and you got to be all around when it comes down to that. You know.
Yeah. I said my first time fighting in Vegas in a big arena was MGM Grand under a Terrence Crawford card. But I say the biggest first one, because nobody was really there when I was fighting on Terrence card.
Yeah.
My biggest first one was when I was on Tyson Fury's undercard when he fought Wilder. I was on his one in T-Mobile Arena. I think
that's the second
3 times. Yeah, but I was on his undercard on his second fight. Yep.
Okay.
I was on his undercard the second fight with Wilder. Man, that was crazy.
It's different.
I felt great, man.
It's different.
That was wild. That was the step before I really knew how I felt when I fought in the Stockton Arena. You know, because man, from that got me prepared for that.
That's cool.
But when I fought in the Stockton Arena, 19 years old, you know, Cinco de Mayo weekend. Same weekend, everybody was tripping because, but I was thinking, Canelo's fighting same weekend as you.
Right.
But I'm like, but this is Stockton.
Yeah, it's my town.
You feel me? I was just like, people rock with Canelo out here, but they bleed Stockton. You know, it's different when you bleed Stockton. You live Stockton, born and raised, everything. You know everything that comes with it. You know, the good and the bad. You know, so they're gonna feel it when they hear me come into the arena. Everybody's gonna get the chills and come.
That's cool.
Sold out the arena. It was a beautiful night. Third round knockout. It was like movie script. I couldn't script it any better. And I remember telling myself once I knocked him out with that left hook, I was like, damn. I was like, feel the moment. I was like, breathe and just hear everybody. I felt their voices bouncing, vibrating off my body.
Damn.
That was a crazy feeling. It was super loud. And you could hear the commentators say that was the loudest arena they ever went to. They just got back from Madison Square Garden. Wow. You know, a week before that or something like that. But they just got back from that, saying it was the loudest arena.
That's
so cool. Man, that was a hell of a night right there. I had Joe Tessitore commentating on live ESPN. After that, everybody left though. Everybody gone.
Right.
Everybody's trying to figure out where they go pirate at and all that.
Right.
See, me after my Vegas fights or whatever, I was too young. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't even step in nowhere. Back to the hotel I went. You know what I'm saying? I had my chocolate cake right there.
There you go.
Dessert, ready to cheat on my diet, gain some weight back.
That's right.
You know, but that was my first big one. Like, I remember bouncing in the corner before they announced my name. Like, looking at the crowd, seeing all the flags everybody had, pictures of my mom's that some people had. You know, all kinds of things that they came represent that says Stockton. You know, everybody had different symbols that they had that says Stockton. And just looking at how loud, I was like, damn, this is like a world title fight. All right, that's how it felt. Man. So I was like, I gotta go out there and show them like that. Then
we'll have more
perform
of that.
like that.
We'll have more than that.
Yeah.
Next time we'll have more. You know what I'm saying? Just keep rising up. You know?
The Stockton Arena. Next thing you know, we'll be right there in the Golden One. So next man, Golden One Center.
Yeah, man.
Hey, talking about baseball stadiums, we fought right there in the Stockton Ports. But now, you know, we'll probably be in the Oracle Arena right there with the Giants, you know what I mean?
There it is. Yeah, man. I mean, the thing is, it's all now in your control, and all of that has to happen because of what has transpired. See, the thing is, sometimes people plan something and it doesn't go along with it because you're meant to be something else. You meant somewhere else. You meant to create rather than follow. You know what I'm saying? And that's where you're at right now. You know, like with me, I make my call when I want to fight, right? It's always my call. You guys now as a shot callers in your career, and that's a great blessing. People are starting to notice that in Northern California and Stockton, all over the place, and it's just a matter of time. Like I
said, we making a new wave.
Yes, sir.
You know, SoCal, they had De La Hoya, they had Shane Mosley.
Yeah,
they had great world champs, Fernando Vargas. Yeah. You know, we had great world champions out there. Yeah. Big ones. You know, but now we got our promotional company, Chief Squad Entertainment, that we're trying to make something like that.
And it will.
You know, so this is the NorCal wave that we're trying to make right there, putting everybody on. You know, like these kids or men, whatever, they had to go over there to be on. Now we got it right there in Stockton, right baby? We could go to Stockton. We're gonna go to SAC. We're gonna go to Salinas. We go SF. Now we
go
know
anywhere.
Yeah, we moving, we mobile. So that's the beautiful thing about it. We're bring up the NorCal wave. So we can't wait for it, you know, because we got a lot of talent. They need to be shown.
There's a lot.
That's
of talent.
Because that's all it's about, really. It's about their talent. That's hard for them to be shown.
Yeah.
Like I said, I try to show them, like, even though the odds are stacked against you, it's possible to still make it, even though no matter how bad the odds are stacked against you. You know, I'm proving, you know, I'm proof in the pudding, you know. I'm the one that's shown for
more
that.
To come.
So that's what to show them.
More to come. Championship belts.
Many more.
Watch.
Many more. Different weight titles, all that.
That's right.
You ready?
That's right.
Yeah. Should cover anything else, Coach?
Cool. No, I think that's cool.
I
think that was great, right?
How long was that?
That was dope, right?
Like an hour? Yeah, we're chopping shit up.
That was dope, man. That was fucking dope. You know, just authenticity. That's what we're looking for.
But that's the thing, man. I can't sit right here and chat with anybody have some shit like that, some conversation like that. You know? Appreciate you,
hey,
Coach.
Man. Hey. Appreciate
clean,
you.
huh?
Yeah, that was dope. Just being real about it. Just the thing about it is being a man, you know what? You speak your experience. You speak that because that's an inspiration to everybody that's watching.
Yeah.
That's an inspiration to all the people that are in need. See, the thing is sometimes people call out and then all of a sudden your message gets to them.
Yeah. And
they're like, you know what? This is my message. I'm gonna do the best that I can. You know what? I grew up without my mom, this and that. You know what? I'm gonna be better because I see this. You know, you're an inspiration because you've been there. Mm-hmm. You know, and then you're making. You know, you're not a quitter. You're a winner. You know, the mindset. You're like, I got this. You know what? You fall, you got back up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's an inspiration, man. That's why I appreciate you telling me that, just having that conversation. Authenticity, man, that's the best conversation. See, I can stay here all day talking about life, you know, because that's real stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you, man.
But that's when it makes it like it's family. Like we in the backyard, you know, you in the house. This is fam. Like we don't have anybody just coming through. Like so that's why it was easy. But that's what we made it today. What today was, you know what I'm saying? We made it happy, you know, because hey, like we come from. You talk to somebody, you could feel somebody's intention sometimes off the bat. Yeah. You know, so. That's what you're new, stand-up real man. So we appreciate everything you do for us, Coach. You know, you got us,
sure, man.
and we got you.
Appreciate you.